Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the Hikayat, or fables, of the 13th century Persian poet Saadi. And what we're going to do is explore how his ancient wisdom, told through these really simple but powerful stories, holds up an incredibly accurate mirror to our own modern lives. It's kind of wild.
Right off the bat, Saadi hits us with this image. I mean, think about that. A demon bound in the well of the heart? It's this incredible warning about the power and the danger of the thoughts and secrets we keep locked away. This really sets the stage for a bunch of stories all about who we are as people, our biggest strengths, and, well, our biggest weaknesses. Okay, let's get into it.
First up, we are tackling one of our most common and, let's be honest, most self-destructive flaws, arrogance. Because as Saadi is about to show us, pride isn't just a bad look. It's a mask for a critical and sometimes fatal weakness.
So our first case study is this prince. He is so consumed by his own power, his own importance, that he treats pretty much everyone around him like they're nothing. His world revolves entirely around him, and in his mind, yours should too.
You can see how this plays out. It's just a brutal cycle. He has this physical fall from his horse, sure, but his real problem, his true sickness, was his character. It's like a cautionary tale for today, right? The second his physical problem is fixed, his moral sickness, that massive ego, comes roaring back and leads him straight to ruin. His pride was the one injury that just couldn't be healed.
Okay, so now let's meet another character just dripping with pride. But this isn't about social status or power. No, this pride comes from an incredible, almost supernatural physical gift. This vulture was absolutely convinced its eyesight was perfect, unbeatable.
And boom, there it is. The question that just wrecks the whole story. The vulture was so confident, so laser-focused on that tiny little prize it could spot from miles away, that it completely missed the massive hunter snare waiting for it right next to the grain. Its greatest strength literally became the thing that got it killed.
This table just lays it all out so perfectly. You see it side by side, right? The prince and the vulture. Both had this amazing strength, royal power on one hand, perfect vision on the other, but both were brought down by the exact same fatal flaw: arrogance. It's that classic too big to fail way of thinking. Pride doesn't just come before the fall, it's the thing that blinds you to the cliff edge right in front of you.
All right, let's move on because the stories build on each other. Next, Saadi looks at a totally different human failing. This time, it's not about failing to see a threat. It's about failing to contain a powerful truth.
So picture this, a powerful king, totally respected, but he's being slowly crushed from the inside by a secret he's carrying. He thinks, okay, I'll share it with my most trusted advisors. I'll make them swear a life-or-death oath of silence. He basically thinks he's creating a totally secure, end-to-end encrypted channel for his secret. But, yeah, that was a huge mistake. As you can see here, the second that secret left his mouth, it was destined to grow. What started as this tiny, contained little spring of information becomes a stream, and then, almost instantly, it becomes an uncontrollable flood. It's basically the 13th century version of a secret going viral.
And when the king, absolutely furious, orders his advisors to be executed for breaking their promise, one of them comes back with this incredible defense. He basically says, hey, you're the one who broke the first seal. The point is crystal clear. Responsibility for a secret starts and ends with the person who owns it. Once you let it out, you can't be shocked when it starts flowing everywhere.
So we've seen what happens because of our flaws. Now, Saadi gives us something a little different, a choice. A really fundamental question about how we should actually live our lives.
The story starts with a hunter who comes across this crippled fox. It has no hands, no feet, and the hunter just can't figure out how this thing is still alive. And then he sees it. A lion shows up, leaves the leftovers from its kill for the fox, and the hunter has this epiphany. He thinks it's a sign from God that the weak will always be provided for.
So what does he do? He gets inspired. He quits his job, goes home, and decides to be like the fox. He's just going to sit there and wait for food to be provided to him. He waits, and he waits, and he nearly starves. He got the lesson completely, totally wrong.
Finally, a voice from a mosque gives him the real lesson, and this slide contrasts it perfectly. Look at the two columns, dependence versus action, weakness versus strength. The hunter was supposed to see those two animals and think, I should be the lion. He was meant to be the strong provider, the one who goes out and hunts, not the helpless one waiting for leftovers.
So the ultimate lesson here is that real worth, maybe even real holiness in Saadi's world, comes from action, from contributing, from relying on yourself. It's about being the cause of abundance, not just the person waiting to receive it.
And finally, Saadi leaves us with what might be his most profound lesson of all. It's a story about how the toughest, most unfair experiences can actually create the deepest wisdom and compassion. This story is about a famous wise man named Luqman, and through a simple case of mistaken identity, he gets captured and forced to work as a slave for a year doing really grueling labor. Now, despite this huge injustice, Luqman doesn't fight back. He doesn't complain. He just does the work, patiently.
You can see his incredible journey here. When his owner finally figures out who he is, he's horrified and begs for forgiveness. But Luqman's reaction isn't anger. He's not demanding justice. It's this quiet, almost shocking sense of gratitude for what he learned during that terrible year.
And this just nails the core of his wisdom. Luqman explains that for all the books he'd read, he never really understood what it was like to be weak until he felt the pain of making mud bricks with his own hands. That horrible experience transformed his knowledge into true empathy. It actually made him a wiser, better man.
So what's the takeaway from all this? Well, these aren't just cute old stories. They're timeless blueprints for how we behave. You know, whether it's the arrogance that blinds a CEO, the office secret that spirals out of control, or the hard-won empathy of a great leader, Saadi's characters are all around us. In fact, they're inside us.
And that really just leaves us with one final thought. As you go about your own life, dealing with its traps, its secrets, its choices between being the lion or the fox, it's probably worth asking yourself, in these ancient fables, which character are you playing right now?